just filmed getting my stuff out the refrigerator.
Good morning, everybody, or I don't know if it's morning, evening. He is on my tail. So by the title of this video, you can tell that I'm going to be doing a day in the life of me doing local, which I've never really done before. I've done my first week driving local, which was a few months ago. So I guess I anticipated doing this much sooner, but you can tell in that video that I was in a position where I just really wasn't feeling it. So, but you guys have been wanting a vlog. You guys have been asking me for vlogs, and I've been putting it off primarily because I just don't like to be so upfront with a bunch of information about where I currently work at and things like that, because it could be a little bit, there's some people out here that will track you down, and that's just the truth, and I don't want to be on the news. Anyways, so today I'm just going to be showing you what I always do, how every day goes. Oh, why are we stopping? I live about an hour away from my job, and so I have to wake up about 2 hours before I have to be at my job. It is currently 7:50. I woke up at like 6:55 or so. I'm not gonna lie, today I'm pretty tired because I went to sleep a little bit later last night because I was trying to get prepped for this video. I'm sorry if you're hearing something rattling in my car. It is this. I got another Blunt Life spray, which I don't smoke. It's just for the scent. And the thing about me, I don't know why I keep buying fruit flavored sprays, and I don't like fruit flavored sprays. I don't like fruit flavored scents. Those are like my least favorite scents. But this time around, I went into the store and I asked the lady, I said, what's the best smelling spray in here for air fresheners? And she was saying this one, because the ones that they had were the least, like her least favorite. So I smelled all of them and I agreed with her. Now, does that mean that this is my preference? No. So I probably shouldn't have bought it, but it was only like $4, so I grabbed it. I also didn't even know that these were sold in gas stations. I was randomly going to a gas station to pump and I saw it, so I was like, oh, okay. Because y'all know I got the fruit punch one that smells like fruit punch, and I don't even like to spray it. I mean, it smells good, but it's not my favorite scent. So I don't know why I keep doing this. I done spent $10 worth of spray so far that I don't like. I mean, it smells good. If you like a fruity smell, get the pineapple scent, because it's like the best fruit scent out of all of them. And it gives a more mature smell. For some reason, every other fruit smell smells like Nerds candy. Not really, but sort of. This one at least smells like, I could picture a woman who just likes very colorful things probably sprays this in her car. Does that make sense? Probably doesn't. Okay, I was trying to talk, but the sun got in the way and you guys couldn't even see me. But hopefully you can see me now. Today I have 3 stops. My 3 stops I always have. I'm assigned to these stops. That's how my company does it. They give you routes that you are assigned to. And so these 3 stops I go to every single day, which is another reason why I didn't want to give an in-depth video about my job, because you guys would see where I go to, and I go to them every single day. So you can get over. Come on, child. Whew. It's different from like if I'm over the road, because I'll be able to show you a certain spot, but I don't go there every day. I don't go there all the time. So you can't predict that I'll be there at such and such time this day, because you know it's less predictable. But when you're local, or at least my company, everything is the same every single day. But normally when I'm in the car on my way to work, to start my mornings off, I listen to my Bible app. So on my Bible app, you have the option to listen to scriptures, because you can read it, but they have a play button at the bottom where you can listen to the person read it to you. Since I'm driving, I can't read it myself, so I have them read it to me. And I'm doing this devotional where you read the whole Bible in a year. And so I've been trying to bust that down. Then after I listen to the scripture selected for me for the day. I will just take this time to talk to God and reflect on what needs to be done today. I will tell him what I'm thankful for. Really just get my mind in the position of being positive. Regardless of what happens today, I know what I started off with. I know what God has given me, has blessed me with. And I know that today is a beautiful day because it's a day that he created. So I start off with that. I start off talking to him. This is one of my intimate times with God. And so I really just take advantage of the fact that I'm in the car for about an hour. So that's what I'm about to do now. I'll see you guys at the yard. All right, so we just picked up our tablet, our keys, and our paperwork. And now we are about to go to the next yard and we're gonna park. And then we're gonna go and get in our tractor. But the thing is realistically, I'm supposed to be here at 8:45, so I got here at 8:45. And then I am supposed to be pretty much getting everything together around like 9:30. And so when I get into my parking spot, when I park my car, I sort of just sit there for a little bit, get myself together. I don't rush into the truck because there's like a 45-minute difference. There's like 45 minutes in between me needing to really be ready and me getting here. So, and by the time I get to my truck and everything, all I have to do is go and grab a trailer, and it generally only takes me like 20 minutes. And so right now I'm just looking for a parking spot. Should I park here? Yeah, why not? It's a little tight actually. See why people didn't park here. But the beauty is everybody's driver's doors are on the other side. This person is parked facing this way, so their passenger door is facing my side, and then this person's driver door is on that side. So nobody's gonna be needing to open their driver's doors near my truck. I mean near my car, so that should be fine. Anyways, I never actually said good morning. Like, I said good morning, but I was driving. Now I really want to give introduction. Hi, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I don't know what time it is over there, but it is currently like 9 o'clock over here. How are you guys doing? How are you? What have you been doing this week? It's Wednesday today, but since I'm sitting here real fast, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys the spiel on why I'm giving you this video. Earlier I stated that the reason why I haven't been doing a day in my life or any vlogs while driving local is because I didn't want you guys to know too much about the job that I was currently working at. If you haven't guessed it already, the reason why I'm now giving you all of this information and I'll be showing you the ins and outs of what I do in a day, it is because I am leaving. Today is actually my last day working here. I'm quitting. I am out. Do you hear me? I'm gone. My first week of driving local, I was like blotting out what company I worked for, so like they have it on their trailers and stuff like that. I'm not doing it this time around. You probably already saw it already, but I work for Universal. This is my last day. I put my 2 weeks in 2 weeks ago, literally the 17th of February. I said I'm out. So yeah, what I'm gonna be doing next, just know I'm still doing trucking, but stay tuned. I don't know when I'm gonna tell you or what I'm gonna tell you or how I'm gonna tell you just yet. I've given myself a couple things to think about. But when you see what's coming up next, I'll give you the spiel on why I decided everything that I decided. But why I'm leaving, a big reason of why I'm leaving is because I pretty much said it in my first video, but it's because, you know, this company isn't the best company, okay? I'll keep it real with you. This company is sort of trash. I'm not mad at the company And once I changed my routes, because at first I was driving to Chicago and back, and I was getting home super late and I was barely getting any sleep. After I changed my routes, I joined the union of this company. I was getting paid lower than what I used to get paid when I was over the road, but I chucked it up. I said fine, because the pay was going to increase the longer I stayed here. But my goal wasn't to just primarily make money. My goal was to handle some business while I was at home, and being over the road and barely coming home wasn't gonna cut it. But this company is just not it. I can't wait to leave, because I think a lot of the reason, and don't get me wrong, I don't want to start this video off negative, but I am going to show you some of the things that I'm talking about, or I'm going to just express to you what my problem is. A lot of my issue is that the company is structurally unsound. They have a lot of structural issues. They have a lot of miscommunication issues. They don't know how to stay consistent with what they preach. In my last company with Warner, I had no issues when it came down to like disciplinary action and things like that. It was to the point where I was nominated for Driver of the Year. I didn't win, but on my first year being nominated Driver of the Year, you know what I'm saying? That goes to show that I was handling my business. I come here, and not only are their pumps down, they gave me the wrong charger to the tablet that they handed me, so my charger went dead. I get here early, I get here on time, and all of a sudden I go in to turn my tablet and stuff in, and they hand me a write-up. And so I'm like, what is this for? And before I could really ask, the person's already explaining it to me, and they're like, you didn't log out of your tablet, and so here's a write-up. This is a written warning. Like, first of all, I'm sorry, I don't care what y'all rules are. At this point, now I'm not even caring what your rules are. That is a stupid rule to have. And that's just me being real. I'm sorry. You know, at the end of the day, there are a lot more stuff that y'all can put y'all energy towards instead of giving me a write-up for not logging out of my tablet. Number one, the tablet that you give us is assigned to the truck that you give us, which means that this tablet should be mine and mine solely, because it has my truck number on it. Number two, the tablet logs out on its own. There's been plenty of times where I have driven, and in the midst of me driving and getting to my next stop, I go to grab my tablet and it logged out. Okay, so that's number two. Number three, never was I ever told about this disciplinary thing that if I don't log out, it's going to be counted against me. Nobody ever told me make sure you log out. Now, of course, make sure I'm off duty before I give the tablet back. Of course, make sure I punched in all my information inside the tablet, but log out? Nobody else should be having my tablet. And in the event that they do, what's the problem if I didn't log out? They gotta log in, right? So they gonna have to log me out. What's the big deal? I got a write-up for that? That was strike 1 and 2. Do you hear me? And to be quite honest, I already had strikes with them after the first week. And I had already dealt with them being weird about the safety vest. But that was the logical thing to be upset about. But I didn't even get a write-up for not having my safety vest on, and that was that one day, by the way. Ever since then, I've been wearing this extra large safety vest, the only safety vest they had available. But I've been having truck issues. It's super difficult to get in contact with the shop. It's just so hassling. So that's just number one of a bunch of stuff. But I think that a lot of it just has to do with the fact that I wasn't dealing with all of this when I was literally over the road, and I was getting paid more when I was over the road. When I get here, all this, man, they call me about the stupidest stuff, and it bothers me. And it's not the worst, don't get me wrong. I know people who have been here for years and they're okay with it, but am I okay with it? No. So I'm leaving. I'm not gonna say this company is bad for everyone, but it's trash to me. And I don't see myself staying here, so I left. I quit. And then also, I did feel in my heart that I was being led to something different, something better. And so that's what I'm allowing God to do. I'm allowing God to lead me out of this area, because I think that I came here with the intentions to stay, but it's just not working out, and that's okay. I don't want to be here and accrue this bad rep, because and I'm not the only one that just gets random write-ups. The other day I was in the office getting my stuff so I can leave, and I heard somebody else say something about how they get random write-ups for no reason. Like, that's where I'm getting at. Like, but y'all didn't have y'all pumps open. Y'all pumps, first of all, everything about this company is so broken down and dusty. Everything is dirty. Everything. Y'all got 2 pumps that barely work. One of them pumps slow, so there's always a line at the pumps at the end of the day. But then number 2, y'all don't even have a truck washing area, so all of our trucks are filthy. In the event that we want to get our trucks washed, we have to go to a totally different location, and I've never heard of them giving a voucher for it. I don't know what they do with truck washes, but they just don't say anything about it. It's just not, I don't know nobody that has their truck washed. But anyways, I'm not gonna keep rambling. I'm gonna stay in my car a little bit longer. I'm gonna just get myself mentally prepared for later, and then we're gonna go ahead and get everything started. So okay, real quick before I leave. So this is the paperwork that they give us. It's paperwork that shows that we have racks on our trailer. I'm about to go and grab my trailer now, which I have one of the older trailers. I can tell by the number that they give us. The trailer number has like 6 digits instead of 7. But the great thing is I'm not empty. One of the things that you probably don't want when you're working at this company is when they ask you to get an empty instead of getting a trailer that's actually loaded. I'm not the only one that feels this way. I've talked to people who feel the exact same way, but it's annoying to find an empty here because a lot of their empties are out of order. Behind me is a whole lot, and inside of the dirt lot there are supposed to be only empty trailers, but they end up putting trailers that have like wood pallets and stuff in it anyways, or the trailer is out of order, and so we end up going and trying to look for trailers, and we got to get out, open the door opens to a bunch of crap inside the trailer. It's just annoying, especially when it was super cold out and it was icy and wet and rainy and snowy and all that stuff. It got real hectic, and it was super cold. So this time around, it feels so good. I feel so blessed to be leaving on this day where I don't have to get an empty. I literally don't have the heat on. It feels warm in here. It doesn't feel cold when I step outside. This is one of the best days to leave off on. We're about to go ahead and grab this trailer, and then we're gonna head off because I already did all the pre-trip crap. So I will see you once we get the trailer. Okay, so at this point, my coworkers are like staring at me. I don't know if they're staring at me for a reason unknown, but I'm a little uncomfortable. Either way, I'm pulling out because whoever parked this trailer is just too doggone close to whatever was behind it. And I'm not able to look to see what the inside of my trailer looks like, nor am I able to slide my tandems. So I'm pulling out. Also, this trailer has that air release. I'm gonna show you, but unlike, you know, some trailers where they have a release arm, this trailer doesn't. This trailer. Also, can I show you something real quick? Look at this. Did you see that? Do you see how there's no... That started happening like the week after I had quit. I don't understand. But anyways, let me show you real fast. Okay, this has a air release valve or whatever, so I have to pull it. You see how that went in? That's different from the pulley where you do that, whatever. Anyways, so now I'm about to check inside of this trailer, see what it's looking like. Which, there goes my racks on the inside. That's what they put the parts and stuff on top of. Ooh, I can't close it. Gotta make sure up top is also closed. Goodness gracious. Why isn't it closed? There we go. Ugh. And now I am going to pull my tandems forward, which pretty much means that I am going to back up and leave my trailer brakes on so that my trailer doesn't back up, but my tractor is going to push the trailer further back onto the back wheels, which will then bring the back wheels further up into the middle of my trailer instead of towards the end. Hope that makes sense. Alright, now we're about to go to the gate where I'm going to hand them this sheet as well as the tag that's on top of the trailer, and then we're going to leave. So we about to pull off. See you at the stop. They're full. Okay, so for the first time, I think, in a very long time, I don't even recall this place being full before, but my first stop is full, so I have to actually wait on one of the drivers to come out so that I can back into their space. So right now, I'm just gonna go and open the doors. Okay, real quick. So I made it here and I backed into my spot. And so now what I do is I take the paperwork inside. Now this paperwork is not for just one stop. It's for 2 of my stops because I have dunnage for both my first and my second stop. So what I do is I separate them. The first 2 sheets are for my second stop. And then the next 2 sheets are for my first stop, which is the stop I'm at now. I am separating them because the shippers get confused. I get the wrong signatures on the wrong paper. So to alleviate that, I just give them what's theirs. Also, I had to call my company because they require a pro number in order for them to let me leave this stop right here. So I wrote my pro number on the front sheet of this location. So now I'm about to bring that in, and then I'm gonna sign in, and then I'm gonna come back out, and I'm gonna wait until they finish loading me. It looks like I'm gonna be here for a while because again, it was very, very full when I got here. There were no spots available, and so I just pulled into a spot that somebody pulled out of, which means that they're still dealing with 4 other drivers. I think it's 3 or 4 outside of me. So the goal is for me to leave at 11:30. Right now it's 10:30. Well, actually right now it's like 10:45 because I was waiting, but I'm supposed to get here at 10:30. The goal is for me to only be here an hour. Sometimes they take a little bit longer, so we'll see. But depending on how long they are, I'm gonna get to my next location a little bit later. But it really doesn't mess with my hours because by the time I get back, I'm normally back at my actual terminal way early. But I'll show you that later. So about to go in now. Generally what I'll do from here is I will probably eat something small. I have an orange here, and then I have my tortilla. I also have a bag of chips, just some Doritos. I also have an apple juice and a water as well. And so I'll normally eat the orange first since, you know, why not? And then I have my food in here. So right now I'm about to just peel this orange and eat it as the start to the day. Sometimes I'll bring like one of those lunch things from Kroger's. By the way, this isn't a traditional orange. This is actually a Cara orange. I think it's pronounced Cara or Cara. It's an orange that has like a ruby looking center. I thought it was a grapefruit at first, but grapefruits are much bigger, so I was sort of like, what? But I looked it up, and apparently it's just an orange that isn't as tangy and is a little bit more like sweet. Which sounds really good. It's from Myers. I'm sure they're at other places too. I've just never seen it before. I never really paid attention to Cara oranges, but they're really good. I tried it the first time I tried it was, I think, Sunday, and it was fire. I had it with a bagel and some eggs for breakfast. It was so good. Alright y'all, we just came back in from grabbing our paperwork. That means that we're done with this stop. They finished loading me up, and so now I just ate my Doritos. I probably should have, I was hungry, but I didn't want to eat my main thing, so I ate my Doritos. Do not scold me for that. But so from my paperwork, what we do is I generally do it towards the end of the day. Don't mind this mud stain that somehow got on this paper. It's sort of gross, but anyways, so what we do is we record whatever info is on this sheet of paper. For one, we gotta put it into the tablet, but I don't put it into the tablet because I don't feel like dealing with the tablet. The tablet is so like delayed. Every action that I try to do, it takes forever to get to that action, so I just call them. And so I call them and I tell them the bill of lading number, which is just the number up top. I tell them the pieces, so the amount of items that are inside. I tell them the weight, how heavy it is, and that's normally it. So by the end of the day, what we have to do is we have to also record it on this sheet right here. And when we go in, we have to hand them the entire packet full of paperwork that we've received from all 3 of our stops, and put the sheet that we've filled out, the main info, on the top. And then we hand it to them. We put a little paper clip on it and we put it into the bin. I'm gonna go ahead and call them real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and close these doors, and then we'll be on our way to the next stop, which I'm super excited because we got 1 stop down, 2 stops to go, and then I'm out this mug. All right, let me stop. I'm excited. All right. Okay, so it's looking like my second stop is full. Now, realistically, this stop is the most likely to be full out of all 3 of my stops, because they only have like 3 docks that are open for trucks. Then the other 2 docks are normally like closed for some reason. So right now, it's looking like I am behind 1 other truck waiting on a dock. So if you can tell right there, there is a truck that's waiting on either of these 2 trucks. It's looking like the 3rd dock is actually closed too, because if you could see that blue thing right there, it's in front of the 3rd dock. So it's looking like we only have 2 docks open, and this one is waiting on either of these docks to open up. So I'm after him. So right now, I'm about to go and open my doors and just wait. Normally during these times, I just sit here, and to be honest, I'm either watching a YouTube video, probably a devotional or something, or I might watch a little Netflix. But generally around this time is when I actually eat my lunch, because it'll hold me off for the rest of the day until I can get home. And then it'll also be warm. That cooler is a warmer. So it's a cooler, but then I turn it on a warmer setting, and so it warms my food up for me. I'm probably just gonna eat, to be honest, and watch a little bit of something, and then back into it when it's available. So okay, so I just took it out of the warmer. The warmer is so narrow that I have to sit it in on a slant. So my food sort of mixed up a little bit, but this is just brown rice, my chicken fajita mix, and then some mixed vegetables in the inside. And then here's my tortilla. So I'm just gonna fork the chicken into here and then eat the sides alone. I don't care if it mixes a little bit, that's fine. So I'm gonna just do that real quick. Okay, it took about an hour, but we finally are in our dock, which I don't know if you can tell, but here we are. And right, goodness, I cannot do this. Right there is the light. Jesus, what am I doing, Lord? Right there is the light. When it turns green, that means that we're done. But in the meantime, I'm about to go and give them my paperwork and sign in, and then we'll be right back. Okay, I had already ate, by the way. I don't know if I had told you guys this, but so now I'm just waiting for them, which as soon as I backed up, I mean, as soon as I pulled my trailer brakes out, they started loading me and unloading me. So I feel like they're going to be done relatively quick. I'm going to be honest and say it's probably going to be another 5 minutes at the most. Normally, I chalk my wheels because they asked me to chalk my wheels. But they started so soon that it's like, well, if y'all don't care too much, then I'm not about to care too much. Because, you know, when you chalk them, you have to make sure you unchalk them before you pull up. But if they don't want me to chalk them because they already unloading and stuff, I'm going to just when they're done, I'm gonna just pull straight out. So it'll take a step out of my thing. Can you feel that? I mean, of course you can't feel it, but can you see, like, they are really trying to get their day over with. Like, that's clear. Anyways, I just got off the phone with my mom, which she is so funny. She is trying so hard to get me to do a mukbang. Jesus. But she wants to make a seafood mukbang, and she wants me to eat it on camera. So we will see, because it'll probably be something trucking related. I don't know. I want to stay on the path that we're going. I don't know. But I don't want to really steer too far away from where we're at. And I think mukbangs, it's cool, but going too much further than that, I'm not into, like, pranking and all that crap. So yeah. But anyways, so and they're finished. Y'all hear that? That means that they're done. So now I'm about to go. I literally just came in, like, not even 2 minutes ago, and they're finished. So that means that we're off to our second stop done with, baby. Woo, woo, woo. I will also say that I had to turn my truck off and roll down my window because it's super hot, and it's always hot at this location. Let me show you. The sun is always out right there by the time I get here, which I get here at the peak around like 12:30, 1 p.m. And it doesn't matter how cold it is outside. If my windows are up, this sun will bake me to death. And I will have to turn my heat off and roll down my windows. So that's one thing about this location. It's a hot location in Michigan. But so now I'm about to go ahead and get the paperwork, and then we'll be off. Let me go ahead and turn this off. Shut up. Something ridiculous just happened. And since I'm sitting here waiting, I might as well explain it to you. What I'm about to explain to you is a series of unfortunate events that just took place. And I hope that this can in some way teach people, because I did not know any of this. Okay? So I'm going to explain it to you with hopes that you learn from my mistakes. I was driving down a street that I normally drive. I've been on this route for about over 4 months, and I've never had an issue. Just recently, I was pulled over. A cop pulled me over. Now, I'm driving the speed limit, and I noticed that the cop turns its lights on, and it starts to pull into, now mind you, this lane, it's only 2 lanes, one going my way and then the other I'm driving, forward. The cops was on the other side facing me, and then it came and turned around and got behind a car that was behind me. So I'm over here trying not to curse, saying, Lord, please tell me that that's the other car and that's not me, which is sort of messed up. I probably shouldn't have wished that on that person. But I'm just like, if that person gets a ticket, that's a car ticket. I have a CDL. A ticket on my end is a lot more difficult to work with. What happened is they pulled me over. They swooped past the car and definitely got behind me and turned their lights on. So I had to get over. The problem is, when I got over, I was trying to find an area that would be best suited for me to get over, and I couldn't really find one. And I was trying not to block the entire lane, because like I said, there's really no shoulder. There's just one lane going my way and one lane going their way. Long story short, I got stuck. As you can see, I am on a slant. I ended up in this ditch on accident. I didn't even mean to. I was trying to get over, and then I ended up I guess the momentum of the truck getting over, I ended up in this ditch. Is that avoidable? 100%. I could have just blocked the way, but I was trying to avoid being in everyone's way, and I ended up in a ditch. I'm sure that was probably not the best decision, but I did it, and here I am stuck. So here I am, recognize that I'm stuck as the cop gets out and comes over to my window, and he's like, "Hey, you're stuck." And I'm like, "Yeah, I see that." But of course, I remained cool and collected, and I'm sort of confused on why I'm getting stopped. And he proceeds to tell me that if I had went on, I believe it's called like the county website or whatever, not only was there a frost law where it said that I have to go 35 miles per hour. I had no idea. Which now I have the option to look into, which of course it's really not an option at this point. But then also, my truck is not supposed to be on this road apparently, which my company gave me this route. So he proceeds to tell me, which I'm telling him everything that I'm telling you. He proceeds to tell me, "Yeah, I've seen your company on this route before, and we've had to pull them over before." He said, "But that's not really dispatch's fault. That's your fault because you're supposed to be able to go on the website, so they won't be fined for it. You will." I'm like, "All right." So he's like, "It looks like if you go any further or if you try to get out of the ditch, you might topple over. So do you want me to find a tow truck for you where your company will have to pay for it, or do you want to contact them?" And I'm like, "Well, I'm going to go ahead and contact them myself. I don't want the cops calling them or trying to find a tow truck and they find an expensive one. It may not be attached to the company." So meanwhile, he writes me a citation. And I guess he was being gracious by saying, "Hey," instead of saying, because realistically, I was going the speed limit, which the speed limit was over 50 miles an hour. So I was going like 15 miles past the 35 miles per hour. Again, I had no idea. Apparently, there's a frost law going on. It started March 1st, and it's March 3rd today. So he gives me a citation, and I guess he graciously put it where I only went 5 above the speed limit, which means 5 points on my license, I believe. And then also a ticket for being, apparently I'm not supposed to be over 59 feet long on this road. And I'm apparently, because he literally took out the measuring tape and went from the back of my trailer to the front of my truck. And he measured me out at 69, which means that I'm going to have a big old fat ticket. I don't even know how much this ticket is going to cost, because the way everything goes, I immediately have to go to court now. I have 10 days to contact the court, and I have to figure out what they want me to do. A 24-year-old woman who started truck driving at 22, have never been in this position before. I've also never had points on my license like this. So this is something that I am a little nervous about. I've never been in this position before, but it's life. You live and you learn. So I am telling you because I want for you to make sure that you understand the laws out here. Don't be like me and go by every day without checking and rechecking, because the dispatch isn't going to have your behind by the end of it. They have the opportunity to write down notes on your record before they have the opportunity to keep you from getting a ticket. So you still have to be responsible on the road. You still have to know your laws, know everything about the state that you're in, and you still have to recheck the routes that they give you, especially if you're driving local. I mentioned to the cop, like, "Hey, this is, my first time driving local. I never encountered a situation like this before." He didn't really care. I can't really be mad. I'm a little annoyed, being that this is my last day. But you know what? There's a blessing in all of it. There is a blessing, because I know at the end of the day, what's for me is for me. Even if this, and I'm knocking on wood, but even if this means, which I doubt, but just saying, even if this means that the company that I'm going into won't take me because I got points on my license all of a sudden. Even if that's the case, that does not mean that my plans or the plans for me are ruined. Whatever door is slammed on you, 9 times out of 10, God is planning something for you anyway. And either that means that you have to try harder, or that means that you're supposed to be somewhere else and God is preventing you from being where you're not supposed to be. So I have faith. I have faith that everything that's supposed to happen is happening. And I'm not going to stress out about it. I do have emotions about it. I am a little annoyed. I am a little impatient. I want to get done with this day. It is 2:03 right now. I'm supposed to already be at my stop. They said it's going to take an hour for the tow truck, which, by the way, I need a tow truck. They say it's going to take about an hour for the tow truck to come. And I think the beauty is I'm not in the middle of the street, so cars can drive by. That's what I was trying to avoid anyway. I ended up getting stuck because of it, but at least I'm not in front of anybody. Everybody can drive by freely. So I don't have to worry about them being annoyed and honking their horns and staring all in my truck. They can go straight by. That's a little blessing. Outside of that, it's still a beautiful day outside. It's sunny. There's no snow. There's no rain. It's not cold. It's not too hot. And what's for me is for me. If I'm supposed to leave this company and go straight to the other company, then I'm supposed to do that. If I'm supposed to pay a big old fat ticket, then it's already there. I already have all that I need. I don't have to worry about how much it costs because I can afford it. So regardless, yes, this is an inconvenience, but it's okay. It's okay. I want to tell you right now, if you're dealing with something that's stressing you out, recognize it's okay. There are bigger things to worry about. It's not deterring your position in life. You need to have a positive mindset so that you can be okay. If you are frantic about every little inconvenience that happens in your life, then you won't be okay, because you're going to be too stressed to find out a logical situation. You're going to be too stressed to change your perspective, because we have inconveniences all the time. On the other hand, my blessing is I don't have to care what the company thinks about me getting a ticket on their watch, because I quit already. They can't fire me, which means I technically won't be fired no matter what they think. You know, of course, I don't think that they would fire me off of something like this, but I definitely wouldn't want to be reprimanded and have that on my record as well. So that being said, be responsible, look up your laws, and be attentive and be positive. Okay? I will see you guys once I get to my last stop, or whenever the person comes in. Are you kidding? It ran out of gas. Jesus. It didn't even really run out of gas.
Shut off on you?
The way the truck was tilted, it now feels like it's out of gas. So now I can't.
You can't turn this wheel.
I can't do much of anything until it's not tilted enough to where it can actually show that it's got gas.
And your wheels are facing the wrong way.
Yep.
All right. Well, I guess.
I could try one more time. Oh.
Yeah, of course not.
All right.
Well, I guess I'll keep pulling here. As I start pulling, see if you can work the wheel to the other way.
Okay.
Towards the right.
Okay, gotcha. I wasn't low on fuel. I had about a quarter left, which is perfectly fine for local. Whatever. I'm out. Do you hear me? I am out. Baby, number one, it's 6 o'clock. It's 6 p.m. I had to relax. I had to relax a little bit. I'm a little bit hyped. See, the thing about me that I feel like I have to mention to you guys is when I get in stressful situations, I really have to hone in on my emotions, because your emotions don't do you well. Your emotions do not help you in situations where you just run into inconvenience after inconvenience after inconvenience. Your emotions, you being all hype and stressed and upset, is not going to help anything, because whatever you put out, you receive, and that's serious. That's serious stuff. So if you're out here upset, angry, boisterous, throwing stuff, flipping tables, going berserk, how people around you are going to act, how everything else is going to come to you. And I'm not talking like manifestation, none of that. I'm really saying that people, you transfer energy. And I'm really not trying to sound like you know, ooh, I'm just talking factual. If somebody is around you and they have a bad mood, they're gonna rub off on you and you're gonna feel bad. Just like if you're happy, you can cheer someone up with your good mood. And so in the same way, when you are excited and angry and frustrated, the people around you are going to feed off of that. And that's why when I'm in stressful situations, even if it's nobody around, I try to maintain my cool, because I can feed off my own negative energy. But just like if I try to think about something positive, I'll feel better. I'll start to think of things better. I'll start to have a positive mindset about things, about my situation. And that's why I say stay positive. I'm going to tell you right now, if I was angry and upset out there, I'd feel way worse today. I probably would have cried. I probably would have been so angry. I probably would have cursed out somebody. And that's just not the way to go. But because I was in a positive mood, I feel happy right now. I mean, of course, there's some crap going on that I'm still not fully out of, but I'm in a way better position than if I was upset, you know, going home angry. I mean, right now, I'm probably about to run into some traffic. It's 6 p.m. But is that going to really keep me from smiling? I'm off work. I quit. I'm not going back there anymore. It doesn't matter how bad today was. God has blessed me with with a closed door. You hear me? And that's why I'm really showing you guys this, because I really want to show you that things could have been way worse, and I feel very grateful. So number one, you guys saw a little bit of what happened, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to explain it to you a little bit better. The tow truck finally comes and he starts getting me out of the ditch. The problem was I was sitting on a slant, and so the slant made all of my fluid, including my gas, shift all the way to the right. And the problem with that is there are 2 gas tanks on your truck, on your tractor, and the one that I guess is attached to the fuel filter or something, I'm not a mechanic, but I can assume that the primary one is on your driver's side. And so if the right one has all the fluid and it drains out the left one will make your truck feel like there's no gas in it. And so by the time I had leveled out and came back to a level surface, the truck pretty much was like, nah, sis, you out of gas. And it shut off, because mind you, it was running the entire time. It shut off and it wouldn't start. So I was trying to crank it a few times. It wouldn't start. It never started. It never started. Even after sitting there for 25-30 minutes with him coming over there and trying to start it, it wouldn't start. And we tried to leave the key on the on position so that it can just reroute the system or the whatever. Try to figure it out. We were trying to figure it out, and it just wouldn't work. He got on the phone with his boss. It just wasn't working. The problem is the fuel filter was drained out, and it wasn't going back through the system, and it no matter what we did, it wasn't doing it. Meanwhile, while we were trying to get the truck to start again, I hadn't even recognized it, but apparently there was a house that I would say was about 2 houses down from where we were parked at, because we were on that 2-lane street. There was a house parked 2 houses down from where we were at, and that house, the owner came out and he looked angry, he looked pissed. So I'm looking at him as he's coming out of his house, and I see him starting to walk over, and me and the guy is like still trying to handle everything. He came over, and after like inspecting stuff, I guess he was inspecting stuff, at this point my attention is split 2 ways. I'm like halfway focusing at him, but I'm also trying to see what my truck is about to do. That's when the guy, the tow truck guy, he's like, I think this is his property, and he's about to throw a fit. Lo and behold, the guy came over, and he's like, did you pull over here when the cop pulled you over? Did a cop pull you over? Before I could say anything, the tow truck guy was like, no. And I was like, and the guy was like, well, what made you? And the guy that came out the house, he's still talking to me, even though the tow truck guy is talking to him. The guy is like, what made you pull over here? Why would you pull over here? Da, 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 da. And before he could finish, the tow truck guy was like, I forgot what he said, but I didn't even have to say anything. The tow truck guy pretty much shut him up and was like, nah, I forgot what he said, but he was pretty much like shutting him down, like, don't worry about it, pretty much. Like, I was like sort of thrown, but that's the type of stuff that happens when you stay positive. You don't even have to fight some of your battles, because God comes through. That tow truck guy did not have to speak. He was not the person in the driver's seat. I was. And where I was going to speak, I didn't even have to. And I guess he told the guy off, or the guy got the message so much so that he walked off and went back in his house. His whole thing was, I want my lawn fixed. But I wasn't even on his lawn per se. I was right past it where the ditch was, and it wasn't nothing but a little bit of grass pulled up. And the thing is it's grass, and the worst part is at this time the grass is dead because it's winter. So you know what I'm saying? Like, he can't. The thing is, I don't blame him for having a problem with it. I'm not saying don't have a problem with somebody being on your property. The issue is how you came about it, how you address the situation. Don't come over with an attitude. Don't come over angry, and you don't even know what's going on here. You see that we're blocking all of the traffic because my truck is messed up. You don't even know the situation because you're assuming that something happened you don't even know. You didn't come out until a whole hour and a half after the fact. And so you don't know. Don't come over with an attitude. And so by the time the guy went back in the house, the tow truck guy is like, here he is. And of course he was like angry. But, you know, he was like, yeah, here he is complaining and stuff. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. We just gonna pull off. From there on, however, like maybe 10-15 minutes after that, a cop car pulls up. And the way he pulled up, it looked like he had parked in front of the house of the guy. And so we're like, man, no, he didn't call the cops too. Like, I'm so sick of cops right now. Cops are the reason why I'm over here. Eventually the cop comes over, and I don't know how to feel about this, to be honest, but the cop didn't come over to me. The cop went straight to the tow truck guy. He asked him what happened, and the tow truck guy told him. And I don't know, I don't know if that's a little rude. I didn't want to talk to him. I felt relieved that he went and talked to the other guy and left me alone. But then a small itty bitty part was like, did you not talk to me because I was a female, or because you just saw somebody that looked like you and decided to talk to him instead? But either way, I was just like, whatever. The reality is, I could care less. I don't want to talk to you. I'm tired of talking to cops. But eventually, they ended up blocking off the street which I felt a little bit embarrassed about, because, you know, people, they get upset when they can't get down the street immediately. And so he did it where he put his car lights on, his cop lights on, over off on one side, and then he came to the middle and was sort of like telling people to come. He was pretty much like directing traffic. Long story short, the tow truck guy eventually ended up just towing me back to my location. Not to my last stop, but to my terminal, my actual job. Now the thing that gets a little funny is, meanwhile, my job is calling me, and every time they call, I answer for the most part. I think they called me twice once and I couldn't answer, but either way, I answered every time after that. The thing is it was multiple people calling me. Everybody was calling me with a different part of the story, not necessarily knowing exactly what happened or the entire story, because I was talking to so many people. So you only know as much as you ask, because one person's asking, what's this, where are you now, and what are you doing? And the other person's asking, are you going to be able to get to your stop, or are you coming back, or whatever. Long story short, one of the people called me after the situation, and they were like, okay, what is your update? So I'm like, yeah, we're on our way back now. And he was like, oh, okay, you're on the road? And I said yes. The last person I talked to, they asked me where the tow truck person was. I told them that they were still there with me, and then we concluded that I was going to get towed back to the location. So I finally come back to our location, and the guy is unhooking me from his tow truck and everything. And then I don't know if I called them or if they called me, but long story short, we end up on the phone, and I'm like, okay, I made it back. And they're like, oh, okay, did you make it to your third stop? And I'm like, no. He's like, what? Why didn't you make it to your third stop? You said that you were driving. I said, I never said I was driving. My truck doesn't start. It hasn't started. I've never said I was driving. He's like, yeah, you did. You said you were driving. I'm like, I didn't. He said, well, somebody has to take it back to that location so that they can get loaded. You're going to have to get assigned another truck and take the trailer back to that location to get loaded. Do you know the cojones you have to have in order to tell somebody on their last day after they were supposed to clock out already? Because I got back at around 5 something. You tell, and I'm normally supposed to be back and clocked out by 4:45. You tell me at 5 p.m. on my last day, that I'm gonna have to get assigned a different truck and go back. You are bat crazy. You crazy as heck. You crazy than a mug. Somebody fed you formula. You got a problem. If you think I'm about to, me? Child, please. I done dealt with so much today, and you had the nerve to try to get me to go back to my location. No, baby, you definitely gonna have to find somebody else, and that is period. I don't know what made you think you was gonna pull that trick out your head. So clearly, immediately, I'm like, oh no, that's not happening. And he like caught a whole attitude. And the thing about it is, I don't know what dispatch has to handle. I don't know how difficult their job is. I don't know the things that they encounter on a daily basis. I don't know how stressful it was to hear that I wasn't able to complete the stops. But understand that just as much as you may be stressed, I'm stressed too, okay? I'm dealing with a lot. I dealt with a lot. And not once did you show any concern. And I'm sorry, you sitting in a desk. You sitting at a desk right now, and you getting paid regardless of if that stop gets their shipment or not. And that's period. Okay, you're not the person waiting. And to be honest, that's not my fault. I told your co-workers that I wasn't gonna be able to make it to the stop because my truck wasn't starting. That's why I quit. Y'all got miscommunication issues. That's not my problem. I'm not assigned to a certain dispatch. Now, I would understand a little more if I was assigned to someone specific. But y'all all call me. Nobody is assigned to me. I'm not about to sit up there and update everybody on the phone, and I'm dealing with something. Y'all need to have communication. Something needs to be written down or somewhere. So it's not my fault that you didn't get the memo. But you getting the attitude about me not me not going to the third stop, it's just not my problem. And when I say get an attitude, I mean he's like, oh my gosh, I can't, oh my gosh, hold on, put me on hold and stuff. I almost hung up. The thing is, my patience at this point, the only reason why I had more patience is because I knew that I was clocking out for good. But if I still had to be at this job, they probably wouldn't have caught, and I mean this with the most sincerity, they probably wouldn't have caught the me that I am right now, because today was already a hard day and they was not trying to compensate nothing, okay? And that's understood. They don't have to. But don't catch an attitude because you weren't informed when I informed your colleagues. That's not my problem. That is not my problem. So either way, I was done. I asked the tow truck guy, I said, hey, can you pull me over to my car? I got my car, pulled up to the spot, dropped off all their stuff, and I dipped. Do you hear me? Now, I do pick up my little check tomorrow, which is another reason why I'm quitting, which they finally fixed, but apparently they've been doing paper check this entire time. I've been having to cash checks this entire time, which is a little annoying. It's not the biggest issue, but who still does checks? Like, seriously? I don't want to have to deal with paper checks. I want direct deposit. I've never had a company only pay me checks. No matter, I mean, and that's outside of truck driving. I've never worked at a job where I was paid by check. So I have to pick up my check tomorrow, which means I'll make a reappearance. But I promise you, I don't want to hear nothing. Just hand me my check and I'm leaving. So I say all this to say, I don't really know how I'm gonna end this video off. I expected it to be way different, but I think that God, realistically, I feel that God had me go through all of this for somebody. I feel like somebody is gonna benefit from seeing all of this stuff that happened today. I don't really know how they're gonna benefit. I'll definitely say be more responsible when it comes down to checking for laws, because that frost law caught me by surprise. March 1st, today is March 3rd. March 1st, they passed a law, apparently. A frost law. Ridiculous, but that's how life works. So, hey, I'm just praying. I pray that, can y'all pray that this ticket ain't too fat? I do want to say that. Can we pray about that and pray that it doesn't cascade into anything else in my life when it comes down to trucking? I'm just praying that this doesn't cause any problems anywhere else. I'm praying that this was just a difficult day, that is still beautiful nonetheless. I enjoyed despite the issues, and I am going to move forward. And I pray that this helps anybody who needed to see someone have a difficult day. I pray that this helped you. But if I end the video here, I just want to say thank you all for watching. I love you all so much, and I will update you the moment that I figure out the best way to on what my future holds in trucking. Okay? You guys have a beautiful, beautiful week, and I will see